What up? We're back in Pistol Bunch, and I'm going to look at two plays here. First, halfback zone. I mean, it's just to make your opponent respect the run. And then the fake screen, which has dots, but can also be used as a QB draw if you're going to run with a scrambling quarterback like Jackson, Russell Wilson, anyone like that. But first things first, halfback zone, I think it's important to mention, you want to mix this in, make it look like the passing plays. Motion the receiver out like slot option. Motion the inside, bunch receiver in like cross drag. Motion the middle, bunch receiver to the left and snap the ball to make it look like Saints flood. I mean, you get the picture. You just want to make it look just like the passing plays so that when you run the ball, your opponent's not ready for it. This is very, very important against people who want to run the 1-4-6 or dollar defenses. Any of these pass-heavy defensive formations with several defensive backs, you can really make them pay with halfback zone. So here we ran the popular 1-4-6 cover 2 blitz. You see that we were able to pick up some good yardage. Here I'm just flipping the run, pretending to do slot option. And again, we're running a cover 3 blitz, and we're picking up very solid yardage. So I want to note that you guys have to mix it in whenever the defensive front looks right for that. Now for the fake screen, this is a very simple setup. There are two versions. There are several setups. My main one is just to max protect and snap the ball. And you'll see in the gameplay footage some of these different setups you can do. And against man coverage, what is great about this play, I mean, these three routes are so unique and so effective. As you saw in that first clip against man coverage, this angle route with your receiver is pretty much always going to beat man coverage. So that's the first read. If you put the receiver on a drag, the outside right bunch receiver, then he's usually, because of his man alignment, is going to get enough separation against man to be an effective read. And then the wheel route is something that almost always beats man too. And this is what I love to use against man-to-man blitzes. If people want to run man and blitz 6-7 guys, you want to have your fastest receiver in this middle bunch receiver set, and it could be one play to the house. So whenever I'm using Seattle, I put Lockett here. If I'm using the Ravens, I'm putting John Brown here. And you see Richard Sherman is toast. There's nothing he can do about that. And once your opponent starts to run man blitzes and then sprint back and try to use or take away that fade, that doesn't matter because you can either run with the quarterback or wait for this angle route, which is very effective. Also, the alternative setup where you put that receiver on a drag, if the man alignment's right and you're running this man blitz, he's going to be open too, so they can't defend the wheel to the far left and the drag and angle to the right. At all times, the reason I max protect is so if they're sending 6 or 7, we're going to pick up that heat and be ready to go. If they want to bump and run out of a man blitz, that's even worse. The wheel route's even more effective, so you're going to have that threat up top as well. I can't tell you guys how many times at the end of games when it's kind of running out the clock situation, maybe like a 3rd and 4, you know they're going to run a man blitz if they're not going to run, like the cover 4 defenses. And so you're going to be able to bomb them, pick up an easy touch, first down, fall to the ground, game over. Against cover 2, the angle route is the main read. If you saw 2 clips ago, the wheel route, if you have him in the gap between the flat zone and the deep zone, you can always hit that. But what makes this play so special is the threat of the QB draw. If I drop back and I just see the middle's wide open, there's no QB spies, the user-controlled players running around trying to stop the angled route, whatever, then I just take off my quarterback, take my 7-8 yards, and slide. An alternate setup you can do is put the running back on a wheel. That's something only if I know my opponent's not running a lot of blitzes and I know they're playing coverage. Usually against max protect, though, that's the way I like to go because if they're running these popular 3-4 cover 2 blitzes where they're sending 6-7 guys, you have that smoke screen right away or drag, whichever route you have them on. You have the angle route over the middle. You can take off running with the quarterback right away. And eventually the user-controlled player is usually going to sit back and try to figure out how do I take away these middle routes. That's going to leave open the scramble or, again, looking for that wheel route in the gap to the right. A lot of times I face user-controlled players who sit over the middle of the field and they start running down at the quarterback because they see this play, they see the pump fake, and they just immediately start to run towards the line of scrimmage, and that's what you want to have your opponents doing. They're basically turning themselves into a QB spy, running down, sitting over Lamar Jackson over the line of scrimmage, and that's going to leave open the wheel route or the angle route for simple, wide open passes. The best defense I've seen against this is they put the contains out there, they QB spy one hook zone, and they user control the other hook zone. Now, I said that's the best defense I've seen, but this play can still beat that. The wheel route is going to be open almost against any zone coverage because the smoke screen pulls down and holds flat zones for usually a couple seconds. If the sideline zones drop with the wheel, then you can just dump it off to the smoke screen anytime. Or if you have them on a drag, you hit the drag. And then the thing is, even if they have a QB spy, most of the time they're going to have a linebacker or defensive lineman QB spying, and they're just not fast enough to react to a Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson this year. So you just take off at an angle and run right by them. And I mean, I have some gameplay footage coming up. There's just so many things you can do with this play, so many adjustments. So I'm breaking down some of the base sets. I mean, you can max protect and motion a receiver over. The possibilities are limitless. So as you'll see, I run this play so many different ways in so many different situations, especially in the red zone. This is one of my favorite red zone plays to use out of Pistol Bunch. So check out the gameplay footage. I hope you guys enjoy and are able to put this QB draw to use along with the run game to mix it all together with the Pistol Bunch scheme.
Seahawks offense. Nothing for him yet from an offensive standpoint.